Day 3 is Caro by Lucy Farron CZT. Caro is a fragment in Zentangle, which means it's a small repeating design element that serves as a foundation for creating intricate and visually appealing patterns, just like the one we'll be creating today. Welcome to the 2025 Inktober Labyrinth Tangle Journey. I've created a toolkit with the template, step outs, and beginner resources. Grab it with the link below. And if you want all the details about how this journey works, watch our intro video inside the playlist. I'll leave the link in the description and in the comments. I'm going to go over some of the supplies that we will be using today. And of course, there is options, there's colored pencils, there's gel pens, there's all sorts of information, inspiration that you can gather as you move along. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the basics. Since this is a beginner's focus, I want to show you the step outs and let you get a chance to get a screenshot of a graphite pen to get started. I'm going to use a Micron 01, a Sakura Micron 01, and for thicker lines, I have a Micron 08 and 05 works, and so that's really up to your preference. I have a graphite pencil. I have a blending tool. I like to use gold embellished with gold, and I have a number 10 jelly roll, and these are a couple more blending tools that I have to use. So now let's get started with drawing this pattern, this tangle pattern. Also, before I forget, remember that you can use what you have. The idea is to tangle or draw every day. However, there are no rules. It's up to you and your schedule. There's really no problem missing a day. There's no judgment. It's just start where you're at and do what you can and have fun. Okay, let's get started to draw or to tangle. Day 3 is Caro by Lucy Farron CZT. Caro is a fragment in Zentangle, which means it's a small repeating design element that serves as a foundation for creating intricate and visually appealing patterns, just like the one we'll be creating today. I really appreciate having the step out. I know for myself, that's how I learned the pattern. And the other thing is that I like drawing step outs for each pattern. I know it's a little extra work, but you get a chance to practice it and really study the tangle. I come from the school of less is more. It can get quite overwhelming trying to learn all the tangles that have been developed through our Zentangle art over the years. So I like to take a tangle and I like to go deep with it. I'm going to start with creating dots, 4 dots in the corner, which is the way we start the classic Zentangle tile. And then I'm going to connect them. Going to eyeball it. I'm going to give a little dot in the center. Now I'm using my pencil right now, and I turn my tiles so that my hand is comfortable, stays in the same place, but the tile turns, which is one of the classic ways. So I'm left-handed. I may be doing it different than you right-handed folks, and also even left-handed. So just look at my lines more than my hand. Which is how I learn as well. Okay, so what I've done here is I've created 4 little boxes. And here, this is where we're going. And a fragment is putting one of these triangles in each one of these boxes. However, if you notice, these triangles are pointing straight up and these are coming down. And there are a number of different ways in which you can create designs with fragments by just changing the position. So the first step is we're going to create a triangle in each one of these boxes. And I'm going to go and pick up my O1 pen, and I'm going to go over to this box. I'm going to, now with fragments, actually, when we divide fragments, there's another part that's called a reticula, which is really this pattern that I've laid, this frame that I have laid down, that I am going to put the fragment inside. And in this case, we actually do use a pen rather than a pencil when we do other types of classic Zentangle, where we're using a pencil for what we call strings. And I have an introductory class and series that goes into all of the details. So if you're interested, don't the link is in the description to be able to get on my email list. So I'm also going to put a pen around the border. Okay, so now we're going to draw that triangle, and if we're going to draw a triangle, we're going to put a dot in the middle, and as you can see, here's the line, and the triangle is going to fit. So I'm going to look, kind of eyeball it and put a little dot up there in the corner, and I'm going to bring a straight line down to this corner, and I'm going to come to the other side and do the same. Here goes my dot. Now, concentrating on this, I'm going to turn this around. And in this border, I have the, one facing up and one facing down. So I'm going to put my little dot there and my line, dot, line. We've now completed step 1. I love this tangle. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. It's a heart. We're going to make little hearts. So let's look at step 2. We're making 3 little hearts. We're going to draw a heart in 3 corners, and we're going to so I have my dot here, and I'm kind of looking at the center there. I'm going to give a C, and then I'm going to come back up and I'm going to do a backward C. I'm touching the side of the triangle. Then I'm going to turn my tile. and we're going to do the same thing in this corner. So that's kind of the idea, is we're going to go up to the top and give a C and have it come meet that dot in the center, and we'll do the backward C here. We'll turn the tile and we'll repeat. Now let's go to each of the, I'm going to back it out just a little bit. Let's go to the next one. Now, for those of you, I do this real time. And for those of you that get this step right away and want to move on to the next step, you can fast forward. The other thing is you can watch, you can change the speed of the YouTube video to go a little bit faster. I want to keep it Another thing you can do is you can take a 2x2 blocks. You can use the bijou. I love using their tiles, but you can cut your own however you do it, and make four different 2x2. And then once you're finished, you can put them together and see what different types of patterns you can make. This is something that we'll be doing in the reticula and fragment class. It really shows the versatility, and it's a lot of fun. I really like reticula and fragments. It's one of my favorite ways of working with these. Now that we've created our three hearts in the center, we're going to move on to the next step. And this step is we're going to draw a border. We call it an aura. All right. So now I'm going to put like a little triangle at the top. And create an aura all the way around the pattern. It's pretty, this is a beautiful pattern, and it's really one of the simpler patterns, especially for beginners. Now I'm going to turn my tile. We have one more. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a little feather like oh, it's almost also like a little heart shape. We're going to do that in each of these little hearts. Turning them. I like to do them in an order so that I don't get lost. And now I will turn on this one. We have two more. Okay. And it really depends. See, you can take one of these and put it on a 2.5 inch, and you'll have more room to add embellishments, or as it gets small, it's you do less. But they have a little circle inside, a little orb inside of this space here. So I'm going to see wherever I have that space, but not at the top, not at the top, and not at the sides, just here, these 3 points. See, I really, there's not space there. I'm going to try to force it. Okay. So that's oh, and we're going to I'm going to take my black pen. I'm using an 01 because my spaces are very small, and I'm going to ink in. And what that does is it's going to give some contrast to the little hearts. The other thing is that the little circles might, the little orbs in the center we put, they might get diluted in these small spaces. It really depends on the space you have. And so I'm going to show you, I use my Jelly Roll 10 pen to come in there and just emphasize it with a dot, a white dot. And I think that after we've done the shading, so we don't gray out that white Jelly Roll, I want to use that as a finishing touch. So I want to say, as you're going along and creating patterns, there's a stage, the first stage, you might get discouraged and say, well, it doesn't look exactly right, or I'm not sure if I like it, my line work isn't, you know, isn't that great, or I made a mistake, which there are no mistakes in Zentangle, but we think there are. And you come back and work, you can work it out at the I'll show you in a minute after I do this and we go to the next phase. I did some things. I used a color on this pattern. I thought I wanted to use it, and then it looked, oh, it didn't look exactly as I thought it would turn out. So with the gel pens are pretty forgiving, I went over the top with gold. So now what we've done basically is we've done the pattern. I've shown you the pattern. Let me pull over this one that I did and show you how I embellished. So I thought, you know, it looked a little bare, and I thought, oh, how is that going to really show up? So I originally came in with this hot kind of a hot pink, and when I thought, well, maybe I'll just add a little gold to it and tone it down a little bit. And so I like the way that happened. I thickened the border and brought in gold so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my 8 I'm going to go around the entire design here on an outside aura. A pair. Now, what comes to mind is if what I'm saying you don't understand the vocabulary. Zentangle, we have certain vocabulary that we use so that we understand each other, and in your beginner's guide there's 2 pages of definitions of vocabulary, so in case you feel lost, we're giving you the basics in the vocabulary. So now I've outlined, and then I thought, well, what am I going to do with these spaces? And I did one thing I could do is I could have not had these lines here in pen, and I could have just repeated this fragment up, in these 2 different directions, but I didn't necessarily want it because I thought that looked a little busy for what I was going after. And there, as I said, we're all creative, and when this is the way I was inspired to do it, let's see how you are inspired. And I will suggest as well to go and look at some of the other CZTs that have created their demonstrations, and there's a lot of really creative things happening on the YouTube channel during Inktober. So I came in and I gave these little dots here a little touch of gold. As you'll notice, I like classic black and black ink with a touch of gold. Now the next thing I did, that I pick up my 8 and I went around the border. Now, those of you that have joined me and will be on the Zoom, bring your creations on Sunday, and let's see what everybody has done and how many different variations we can find, because I know there is so much creativity in our group, and it's really inspiring to see what others do, and that helps us in our creativity. That inspiration opens up the doors to our muse. Say, oh, I didn't think of it that way, but maybe I kind of want to do it like this. For example, I had a class that I taught last week, and I did a certain pattern in the center, and then some of the students, they went and they found a different way that they wanted to put the center in. And I also was watching some of the Inktober tangles, actually day 1, and I saw a way that that was done, and I said, oh, that's perfect for that design. I'm going to include it the next time I teach that Star of David class. So it's the most important thing is just to get started. Use whatever materials you have available, and also time you have available Do not feel that you have to do this every day, but it's not, it's a good idea to carve out 15 minutes. That helps you get into a pattern, and in 15 minutes a day of enjoying a creative, relaxing activity will definitely help your to relax, to focus, and to be inspired. The most important thing is to show up, and to show up consistently. So in here, I can put a little white dot with the Jelly Roll 10. Make sure that your ink is dry, otherwise it'll gray it out. Where I came in here and I put dark, this is what I'm saying. If you do something you don't quite like it, you can change it. The other thing that I did to embellish this tangle today was I came around and added some dots around this border. So that's the pattern, the fragment tangle Caro. If you enjoyed today's tangle, grab the Inktober Labyrinth Toolkit. It includes the template, step outs, supply list, and beginner-friendly resources to make this journey easy. And if you'd like accountability and support, join our Creators Art Lab community, where we draw together every week during the month of October. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a daily tangle. Thanks for drawing with me today. I'll see you in the next video.